Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Wednesday the 20th of April 2022. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon we bring you the 5 news items that happened today that you need to know about it. Let's jump into it. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed up slightly today to 7,569 points. It surged at the opening of trade, but then fell back through most of the day. The main news event was a $20 billion bid for Ramsay Health by a consortium including private equity and super funds. The bid triggered a 24% rise in Ramsay's share price. Among the large caps today, the iron ore miners underperformed. Rio Tinto was down 2.8% after disappointing investors with its production report. BHP was off 1.6%. Gold digger Newcrest dropped 1.1% and oil and gas giant Santos fell more than 1% as well, despite announcing a $250 million share buyback. The banks were mixed and Goodman Group and Wesfarmers both rose more than 1.5%. The worst performers were wealth platform Hub24 and gold miner Regis Resources, which both lost more than 6%. Story number 2, media giant News Corp looks to be getting into Australian sports betting. The company has always had an interest in the gaming sector, and News is joining a consortium to launch an online wagering brand in Australia. The consortium includes Australian betting industry executive Matthew Tripp and a Las Vegas digital sports gambling investment firm, according to reports in news media outlets. While old media companies have struggled to grow revenue, gaming sites seem to have done very, very well. News will promote the new site via its media assets, including newspapers and websites, and via Foxtel and Kayo. Story number 3. AGL Energy has suffered an electrical fault today at its large Loy Yang A coal-fired power station. That station supplies about 30% of Victoria's electricity, and it could remain offline until August. That means it won't be operating in peak winter season. That sent the share price of AGL down nearly 7%, though it did recover somewhat. The outage adds to growing concerns about whether companies like AGL will keep repairing coal-fired generators, given the push to renewables. Loy Yang is scheduled to operate until 2040, so this one certainly will be repaired. Story number 4, the Solomon Islands' decision to sign a security pact with China, announced early this morning, has triggered an immediate response from former Foreign Minister Julie Bishop. She called the decision deeply disturbing. Ms. Bishop said the Solomons had been a great friend of the US and now it appears to be looking toward China. She said the current Foreign Minister, Maurice Payne, should be on a plane to talk to the Solomon Islands government to understand what's been agreed. Prime Minister Scott Morrison signalled that PNG is also facing pressure to sign a security agreement with China as he defended his approach to the Solomon Islands. He highlighted Australia's Pacific Step Up program, which is designed to re-engage with the region. And story number 5 comes from Wall Street. When bond yields rise in the US, equities tend to perform less well. But a pretty good March quarter earnings season has meant the major indices have performed really well, including a 2.2% rally on the Nasdaq this morning. In fact, all 3 main benchmarks had their best day in more than a month overnight. One exception, in terms of equities at least, is Netflix. The streaming service has hit a wall. It lost 200,000 customers in the first quarter of this year. And just staying on Wall Street for a moment, the New York Times is reporting that Elon Musk will invest up to $15 billion of his own money to take Twitter private. That means he needs partners to stump up the remaining $28 billion. That's it for the afternoon report for Wednesday, the 20th of April, 2022. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Thursday Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.